So lately I've been on sort of an idle animation phase, right? I heard that Nintendo was asking for ideas for Diddy Kong Racing 2, so I decided to send in a video of me showing off my stuff. See for yourself. Yeah, I didn't make it. Diddy Kong Racing is a 90s kart racing game made by Rare with monkeys and elephants and rockets. I'm not really sure how anyone could want anything else besides that. Now I was juggling topics for my next video while stumbling through some boxes full of gaming memorabilia when I found my cartridge for this game. So I dusted it off and tried to pop it into my console, and then I remembered I didn't have a 64 anymore, so I borrowed from a friend and played the crap out of it again. Diddy Kong Racing originally came out in 1997 for the Nintendo 64 Entertainment System, and man, did it entertain the balls out of me. I can't even begin to tell you guys how much I played this with family and friends, and then how religiously and seriously I played this alone in the basement at night when my parents were asleep. Sorry, Mom. You see, this isn't just a racing game, it's a sprawling adventure with challenges, secrets, and an elephant genie that hands out balloons whenever you win a race. You know, the usual. So tight controlling racers really met their match when this little boy came strolling along, because I think to this day, this is still the tightest feeling racer I've ever played by a large margin. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still a Mario Kart boy. Like I love my Mario Kart, but I don't think anything is gonna compare to the level of control that I feel when I'm drifting and sliding and braking around the courses in this game. Now, something I find that's often overlooked when talking about video games is the weight of the characters. Super Mario 64 and Ratchet & Clank are both really fun games because the main characters have a certain distinct weight to them that makes them fun to move around with. Now, Rare understood this by giving each character a distinct weight that coincided with this world. Like, they just felt right. No one feels too much like a heavy brute that's impossible to control, and the lighter characters have some crazy flexibility to them. You can really do some nasty things out here. And if I ever lose a race, like that ever happens to me, I always feel like it's my fault because I was probably just being a little ding-a-ling goofing off near the end and I probably slammed into a wall. This is one of the best things about Chitty Bang Racing. Planes. The sheer amount of variety in terms of playstyles is just awesome. Because nowadays, this has become so much more commonplace today with things like Sonic Racing and Mario Kart, but back then, this just blew your gosh dang mind off of sucking on your Totino's pizza. Do they still make pizza? God, those were good. So there are 3 different methods of travel overall. You had your standard cart, and then we have the aforementioned plane, and finally, now get ready for this. Bam! Is a hovercraft. All 3 fun to play with, all 3 play very differently. I personally love the hovercraft a lot because the amount of tightness that you can achieve as long as you master the controls is astounding, and the plane is another beast altogether because now you have to factor 2 entire extra directions of travel in. So instead of just being tied to the ground, now you have to factor in altitude, and it definitely makes a difference in terms of speed and dynamics. That's the word I wanted. So along with controlling it differently, you also have 2 extra moves it allows for you to perform too, the barrel roll and the somersault. One of these is actually useful while the other one seems like they've spent a lot of time coding for absolutely no reason. Oh, and before I forget, the music for this game is just amazing. David Wise did a fantastic job with the soundtrack, and I don't know much about music theory or composition, and I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I do, so go check out some of these tunes for yourself, and with that, I'd like to continue talking about what makes Diddy Kong Racing so special. It's an adventure game. This is it, baby, the adventure mode. You see, so many racing games decide that just having some tracks with some characters and racing on it and some items thrown in there is good enough, but not here. Oh, hell no. There's a big old fat plot in this one, and sure, the plot's as simple as Whizbig stealing Timber's Island away, and now we have to race him and his minions to get it back, but whatever, I don't care. There's motivations behind why they're racing, and there's a decently sized world to explore, so that's really all I needed. No other racing game does this nearly as well as Diddy Kong Racing, or really even at all for that matter. And it's not even like they put a ton of stuff in this world either. They just simply sprinkled in some secrets here and there, and they also gave us a reason to actually want to race other than just wanting to race. And I love the shit out of that. And for all you parents out there, this game is quite educational. It taught me as a kid that if a big pig ever comes and steals my home, all I gotta do is race him to reclaim my lands. Simple. Now, the natural comparison for this game is Mario Kart 64, and I understand that because they were both kart racers that came out relatively the same time. But oh my goodness, child, is this game just so much more than that. Mario Kart 64 is a fine little game and all, but Diddy Kong Racing just took everything that game did and decided, hey, let's take this to the next level. They saw Mario Kart's power-ups and decided, well, we'll just power up our power-ups. How about that? And I also find that the design of the actual races seems to be just so much more interesting and unique in terms of the course layouts. With access to the different vehicles, the levels don't feel so flat and two-dimensional like they do in some of the other racing games that were around at that time. Another thing that I find amazing is I find having a theme to each part of the world so much more fun because it makes exploring the levels feel like you're on a damn safari excursion, and that's just as exciting as that feeling when you order 5 chicken nuggets and they give you 6. And speaking of the hub world, everything feels so much more alive and connected. You have your main pad here where you can choose 4 different areas to travel to: Dino Domain, Sherbert Island, Dragon Forest, and Ice Place. That's not right. Snowflake Mountain, yeah, that's right, I knew that. Inside each of these places are 4 races that must be completed. And then you face the boss, you go back through each race a second time to do the silver coin challenge, you face the boss a second time, do the optional challenge level if you want to, and then you can do the trophy race if you want to. Basically, there's a pretty good chunk of shit to do, and each boss is a guardian of the island that's been overtaken by Wizpig's spell, and you have to knock that spell out of them by racing. Yeah. But honestly, that's the ultimate reason why I love this game so darn much. It's goofy, it's got heart, it's about a bunch of small animals who want to save their island from a space pig, and then you turn a lighthouse into a rocket ship to chase after him to his home planet, and oh my god, this game is ridiculous. And you might be expecting this part of the video, you might be expecting me to break down maybe some of the faults with it, but no, I think this game's perfect. I don't care. 11 out of 10, would race again, other memes. I have no problems with this game at all.
You have earned a piece of the amulet. Now try the trophy challenge. Goodbye.
Oh, whoa, wow, that's some voice acting. So Diddy Kong Racing is a fantastic little game, and it's probably pretty obvious up to this point that it is my favorite racing game of all time, and if not, it's one of my favorite games of all time. And if you haven't checked it out yet, please go do that. I hear that if you really want to, you can play the game for free. With emulation. Album's gonna be out next week. Okay, bye. Terrible music. I shouldn't be doing this.